Ask yourself the damn question. Is winning the only thing to you?
Sports today are not just played on the field. They're played every day, online, all over the world, by sports fans just like you.
Don't you dare breathe. That won't get you anywhere. If you don't think you're a winner, you don't belong here.
The Star Fantasy League Show puts you in control of your own team. Find out who to sit, who to start, how to play, and have your daily fantasy sports questions answered with your host, Jonathan Sprung, and co-host SFL CEO Zach Stanley and Nick Steblenko. The Star Fantasy League Show is on the air now.
Hello and welcome to the Star Fantasy League Show here on 105.5 The Team in Rochester. I am your host, Jonathan Sprung, joined, as always, by SFL CEO, Mr. Zach Stanley.
Hello, Jonald. How was your July 4th?
It was filled with boom.
Boom?
It went much like Ubaldo Jimenez, my fourth went boom.
Well, that's good, I guess. Nick, did you have a good July 4th?
I did. Rochester puts on a spectacular show every year. I enjoyed it. Very nice.
I was at some fireworks down by the river, literally.
Oh.
Those are the ones that I saw, too.
Unbelievable.
I was not aware that there was a river.
They were right in my face.
You didn't know that Rochester had a river?
No.
The Genesee River?
The Genesee River?
No, not a thing.
Wow.
You know Genesee beer?
Nope.
Okay. Well, I was right down by Tony D's over there. They had a band out there, bunch of people out serving beers, out to watch the fireworks, and it was as close as you could get. It was
I have a
fantastic.
secret spot that that nobody knows about. And
So, saying it on the Star Fantasy League Show right now on a locally
I'm not
broadcast...
going to say it.
Oh,
I have a secret spot. The fireworks are literally right in my face.
Yeah, I did that as well. Rock Brewing got a nice little right underneath. Nothing in my way. It was a pretty good spot. And he gets to enjoy some local beer.
Good fireworks. I got to go out on Canandaigua Lake on Friday for the 4th, and I got to go to the Bay on Saturday.
Well, that's fantastic.
So I was out getting some sun. I've got a very weird tan for my Rochester Royals jersey that I was wearing.
Very nice. It sounds like everybody had a lot to celebrate this weekend with America's birthday. Apparently that's not actually what it is. People claim that July 4th is America's birthday. It's really not.
America.
Yeah, America. No, it's not. But we actually do. We're switching up the Star Fantasy League show today just a little bit because we're celebrating something else that happened over the weekend. MLB All-Star starting lineups and rosters were revealed, so we're going to go over everything to do with MLB All-Star Week. Yes, that's right. It is an entire week. Next week we have to take off a few days because nothing's going on.
You mean we're not going to go over the fact that I beat you over the weekend? I don't understand.
You beat me on Thursday, right?
Well, yeah. That was the weekend for me.
Yeah, then somehow Friday nobody made a lineup except me, and I did it in 7 seconds because I almost forgot to put one in. Just in case you did end up I put a dummy. It was terrible.
Nope, I was eating potato salad and cheeseburgers. Thanks, Ma. I appreciate that.
She's probably going to call you right now and be like, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Nick's family puts together some good spreads.
Oh. Well, that's nice. Nobody put together a nice spread for
If you
me
want
over
leftovers, you should have had him bring in leftovers.
Oh.
Maybe there were no leftovers.
No.
Oh.
Does it look like I have leftovers?
Nick is not a man that likes leftovers.
No, I love leftovers.
No, because
but
you don't
there are
leave
rarely
them.
any leftovers.
Exactly. It's one meal. It's not Food Tuesday on the Star Fantasy League show. Let's cut this out, please. Cut it out right away. Before we talk about the All-Star selections, let's talk about someone who got selected and is not allowed to play because he was traded the day before. That's Jeff Samardzija, your boy. You like him a lot.
Love him.
Was traded along with Jason Hamill to the A's, best record in baseball. What a absolute coup for them.
They are now a World Series contender, hands down, because of this trade.
But weren't they before though? Their offense was
they already
really
were.
Good.
They already were. They were a ridiculously frightening lineup, and now the pitching staff is a little more padded.
Well, Zach, you should know after the past couple of seasons that the A's have always had trouble once they get into the playoffs. They've come up against a team like the Detroit Tigers who have a great pitching staff, and they have a big problem with that. So now they have somebody that can contend with those number 1 and number 2 aces. I think that Jason Hamill is going to be the steal out of this entire trade because he's actually put up really good numbers this season. He's going to fit probably either in like the 3rd or 4th spot in their rotation. And I think the A's, yeah, you said it, they have a great offense. Pair that with this fantastic pitching staff now.
Are
and they're
you
good.
worried a little bit with NL pitchers coming over to the AL? I know it's been a problem in the past because the AL is the better hitting division every single year. They have the DH there. You're not facing a pitcher, 3 times a game.
Mm-hmm.
Are you worried about either Samardzija or Hamill having trouble adjusting to this?
They probably will see a little bit of a number drop, But Jeff Samardzija has been a fantastic pitcher his entire career so far. He really has carried the Cubs, always giving them a chance. And unfortunately, they can never put any offense together. So you can only imagine what he could do with a couple of bats behind him.
It's always a concern, but it doesn't mean you don't make the trade, and it doesn't mean that you don't expect the trade to pay off.
Well, and don't forget, they're going from Chicago, Wrigley Field, crazy hitter's ballpark, to Oakland, which is a pitcher's ballpark. So even if you are switching from the NL to the AL, that's something that's definitely going to help you as a pitcher.
They also now get away from Chicago, where they play more day games than anybody in the entire league.
Yeah, Mr.
That's
Ortiz.
been an issue. Yeah, that's been an issue, and it's been discussed quite a bit this year. So it'll be interesting. We'll
they
see.
certainly won't suffer from any lack of motivation like they might have at the tail end of this year with the Cubs.
Yeah, let's talk about the Cubs. They just got back 2 prospects, Addison Russell, Billy McKinney, and then Dan Straley, who's a second-year pitcher. They have 6 of the top 75 minor league prospects in the Chicago system now. They're just building an all-star team in the minors.
That I don't know. I mean, that's still – the Cubs have been so bad for so long. I don't know that it's going to –
It's a high risk because you never know how these guys are going to pan out.
Yeah,
but this is literally their only option at this point, is to pretty much go for a complete rebuild. Mm-hmm. It seems like it's what Theo Epstein has kind of been lining up over the past few years, is getting rid of these larger contracts that weren't paying off to any significant degree, building up from the bottom, and hopefully being able to get some of the guys up like he did in Boston.
And who knows? Unloading Hamill could actually end up working in his favor because, like I said, he's had a really good season so far. We don't really know whether he's going to be better or worse in the second half of the season. Maybe he got rid of a player that's overhyped.
It's a smart trade for both teams.
And
the Cubs aren't going to be panning out this year. We all know that.
Yep.
And Oakland needed to pad.
Yeah, Hamill's a free agent after this year. Samardzija has 1 more year after this with arbitration. So, I mean, they could have just dumped people they weren't going to re-sign anyways. So, good on the Cubs for getting at least something for potentially nothing, which is definitely the worst-case scenario for Major League Baseball.
True.
You just have players go away.
Yep.
Not what you want. All right, so can we talk about the big trade that went over the weekend? Brandon McCarthy for Vidal Nuno. Oh, wait, no, that's not.
You really want to talk about that?
No,
that's the big trade?
That was a joke, obviously. Those two got traded, and I saw the trade, and I was like, what? They're trading their 5th starters for each other? Like, what are you doing?
Well, CC Sabathia has had an injury relapse, if you will, and
the
Yankees
relapse?
need something.
It's like trading you my stale bagel for your stale muffin.
That's what I'm saying. It's chud for chud.
I think that Nuno has been just fine. I think he's been just fine. He pitches 5 innings, 6 innings maybe. Then he relinquishes the rest of the game to the
I have
bullpen.
the numbers up here. He is actually pitching for Arizona tomorrow. 5.42 ERA, 37.9% ground ball, 1.73 home run per 9. He has been bad.
I think all of those numbers are a stretch. They are. They really are, because he was a middle reliever, so a lot of those are going to be inflated numbers because of the fact that he was a middle reliever. I don't think any of those are accurate.
We'll see. He's actually going from the AL to the NL and getting out of Nick Stadium. So, are you going to pick him tomorrow? We're going to see.
I'm not going to pick him tomorrow.
Oh, come on.
Why would
now.
Are you kidding me?
So you think he's got a bright future?
Bright?
He's got a dim.
I think he's serviceable.
He has a dim future.
I think he is serviceable.
His future's slightly illuminated.
Yeah, we are talking all-star game selections. We haven't even got to them because we've been talking about all that's going on in baseball and the Star Fantasy League show. But let's get to it. Let's start off with this final voting thing, because we talk about the all-star game. The fans vote in all the starters. Yippee-doo. They clearly make mistakes. We'll get to that. But once they're done making all these mistakes, then they get another chance to make yet another mistake with the final 5.
Well, if they
it is
screw
exciting, though.
Well,
I mean, isn't that really what this is about?
No.
You give the fans.
I have an issue with it.
I know,
really
so do I. Yeah, we were talking about this earlier.
Don't the players get paid based on making the All-Star game?
Yeah.
So somebody could get really screwed out of a payday.
I know, but you know that the engagement from fans is one of the most important things to the league.
To the league, yes. To the players, I mean, they do. They get passed over. They get screwed. It's unfortunate. I just think it's. I think it's unfortunate.
I want to go over these absolute beasts in the AL and AL final vote. Keuchel, Kluber, Porcello, Richards, and Sale. Those are 5 of the top 10 pitchers in the AL.
I think there's one obvious choice out of this group.
It's Chris Sale.
Chris Sale.
But
I can't believe he didn't make the roster.
They're going based off his what?
His ERA.
9 total starts?
No, they're going off his ERA because he didn't qualify because he hasn't pitched enough innings. So he didn't show up on the stat sheet.
Oh, give me a break.
It's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. He's been one of the most dominant pitchers in the game.
What about Garrett Richards?
He's been fantastic, too.
I'll tell you, everybody on this list, Porcello has, 11 wins, so he's got...
Well, Porcello just had his audition, and it didn't work out too well.
Kluber's been one of your favorite pitchers all season, Nick.
Yeah, he's been good. I looked at his numbers against... I mean, if you think about it, who would you take off of the AL pitcher roster?
No
It would
one.
probably be between Kazmir and Burley. Maybe.
I think Burley's been just so solid, but from we look at him from a fantasy perspective. He's been fine from a baseball perspective, just not fantasy.
No, he hasn't.
Big difference.
Both Casimir and Burley have better numbers than Corey Kluber. So, I mean, I like Kluber, but I think those two guys deserve it.
We're saying it's Sale, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the NL final vote is all hitters for some reason? These are
that's what they did. They did pitchers on one.
Casey McGee, Justin Morneau, Anthony Rendon, Anthony Rizzo, and Justin, don't call me BJ Upton.
I would probably say Rendon.
Would you really?
I like it. I think he's
expensive.
He came in, he stepped into a spot because Zimmerman was hurt, and he made the most of his opportunity. He's been fantastic.
And now he's back. He went from second to third, back to second again.
I don't know why they do that. They should have kept him right there.
They
don't
wanted
mess with
Zimmerman
a good thing.
I would personally, I don't know. The most solid on this list has been McGee. Surprisingly, man, he's killing it. 320 batting average, leading the league in hits right now. He's just been really solid for a team that kind of needs something.
Don't you think he might have benefited from hitting behind Giancarlo Stanton, though?
Yeah, probably.
So, I mean, Rendon really, he picked it up without having Harper or Zimmerman in the lineup. So, I don't know. I think I would give the edge to him just a little, but that's me.
Okay.
I'm just waiting to talk about Ian Kinsler.
Okay. So let's get on to snubs. You want to talk about snubs?
I think Ian Kinsler is one of the most ridiculous snubs I've seen in recent years.
How are you going to – okay, there are a lot of weird snubs I saw. The Rockies only had 2 All-Stars, Tulo and Blackman. The Dodgers only had 2, and Puig and Gordon. I mean, where are these people getting these selections from?
I don't know.
Hold on. Where's J.D. Martinez?
Well, he came on late.
Yeah, that was a little late.
But his stats are still, staggering.
Kinsler leads all second basemen in the majors in slugging OPS and WAR, and his WAR only trails Mike Trout and Josh Donaldson among all AL position players.
The only reason I could think of him getting snubbed is because of the fact that he plays on a loaded offense, and you can't pitch around him. You have to throw to him. So, I mean, with Miggy and V-Mart right behind him, you can never throw him junk.
But he's been all-star caliber. It's not like
I'm not disagreeing with you.
It's not like something suddenly changed over, this year. He's been an all-star caliber player.
Yeah. I mean, Robinson Cano, I don't think I don't think he
name
warranted
value.
Sure, but I don't think he warranted being in the starting lineup for the American
That's what I'm saying. It's name value.
Yeah.
I mean, Kinsler should have been the starter, in my opinion, let alone on the roster.
Well, how about Giancarlo Stanton not starting? How is that possible?
Well, McCutcheon's been fantastic. Carlos Gomez has been even better.
I'm sorry.
All right. No, you're right. You're right.
Okay.
He should have been on.
Yeah,
You're
do
right.
not take Giancarlo. Actually, he's going to end up starting as the NL's DH for the game. Like, they know they screwed up, so they kind of just shoved him in the starting lineup.
People are getting punked by the fans.
Yes, they are fans. We don't like you, but come back after the break, and you'll be part of John Old's Mailbag, and you'll listen to the Star Fantasy League show on 105.5 The Team.
The Star Fantasy League Show. Information is key to being a successful fantasy team owner, and the guys have all the updated info you need right now. Okay, fantasy sports fans.
There's a letter in your mailbox.
Time to dig into Donald's mailbag for your questions and comments.
Read the mail, read the mail, read the mail.
Jump in the game. Send your questions and comments to the Star Fantasy League's team by tweeting at SFL Show.
We are back on the Star Fantasy League show, and if you missed the first segment of the day, shame on you. Actually, no, not shame on you. You missed an interesting conversation about fans voting for the All-Star game in Major League Baseball.
I just think the positives outweigh the negatives.
Oh, come on.
Really?
You are 1-2 down here, Zach.
If you were Giancarlo Stanton and you got snubbed after the season you've been having.
No, he's on. Oh, you're just saying from the starting
Look at how many people interact on this, though. It's just...
Okay. You can vote like 30 times.
Yeah, hold on. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's cool.
There are things on Twitter where fans just retweet, get all these votes. Like, leave them alone. Like, stop it.
It gets everybody involved. I think that outweighs the speculation.
I have to see on my Twitter feed, because I have some Arizona Diamondbacks friends. All I see is Miggy, all this stupid thing.
It's not like we're voting for the Heisman.
Well, yeah, you're right. I don't know. I just think
Manziel would have won 20 times over if we voted for the Heisman.
I just think that it's unfair. Matt Wieters is in the starting lineup.
Oh, he had to get it in. I was waiting for that.
But it happens in the NBA too, every year.
Well, that doesn't make it right.
Yeah, Kobe will be starting 20 years after he retires. I guarantee it. Just Kobe will end up in the starting lineup somehow.
As will Derek Jeter.
I'm still trying to pick Allen Iverson.
Are you?
And Chauncey Billups.
I mean, we're not talking about practice here. We're talking about the All-Star game.
Which is Practice, which is basically practice.
No.
Yeah.
It's a real game played by real people.
I'm pretty sure I've played in more basketball games that are competitively played at the gym than the All-Star game.
Do we have the home run derby announcement? Is that out?
They're all pulling out of the game. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what. I saw Cabrera's not doing it.
He's
but
not going to happen.
I'm glad he's not.
All right,
actually.
we're going to cover this next week. Like I said, next week there's no baseball, no fantasy to talk about. It's all All-Star games, so we have to save some kind of conversation for then.
All right.
Or we'll just play some games. Tweet us at SFL Show. Tell us some games to play on the air. You won't be listening. We won't be doing anything. So just call in. We'll have a conversation.
Yeah, we'll YouTube a 10-hour game of Risk.
That sounds awesome.
You're going down. I'm conquering the world.
Of course you will. We'll be playing it over 6 days, actually. We'll just live tweet the whole thing. All right, first question comes from Taylor T. Novak Djokovic and Roger Federer put on a show in the Wimbledon final on Sunday in an epic 5-setter. Has the torch finally been passed?
I think it was passed a little while ago.
I agree with
so?
that. I agree with that. I think the torch was passed. But I don't know whether, first of all, Djokovic physically puts so much out there. I don't know if he's going to be able to maintain this long term. So I think what happened long ago was the torch was passed from Federer as the number one guy.
Yeah.
But to say that he passed it to Djokovic yesterday and now Djokovic is going to have this ridiculously long career similar to Roger Federer, no way.
No, and I mean, you could still make a case for Nadal being the number one player in the world. I mean, I know Djokovic he's been formidable. He's been fantastic over the past couple of years, but Nadal he's still fantastic as well. And really, Federer and Nadal started this whole thing. Yeah. They started going back and forth. Nadal was the first one to actually challenge him. I don't think Andy Murray is even in the top 4 yet. I think he's still got some work to do there.
He's hiding.
I think what was most impressive about this, Djokovic bounced back multiple times in the match after almost giving it away repeatedly. Mm-hmm. But this 32-year-old that we have seen play for so many years, it seems like forever.
It seems like it's been a long time.
And he's still getting to finals. He's still ranked 4th in the world, and he still doesn't want to stop playing. I think that is so awesome. It's so cool to see a guy that is so talented that at that age, which in tennis is an absolute dinosaur, he's still able to he's in the top 4, and right now in tennis, that's dominant.
He pulled off so many amazing shots, like shots that you weren't even expecting. I couldn't believe it. I was like, man, we're still watching the same vintage Roger Federer.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun to watch, and I don't think he's done by a long shot, but it looks like he's not even he's writing his own records at this point because he already has the most Grand Slam titles ever at 17. So he's just writing his own record book right now.
You can't count him out. Of anything. The U.S. Open is coming up. He'll have another chance. I hope we get to see him win one more.
I do too. I was pulling for him. I really thought he had a great shot at closing that out or making the comeback.
Well, it was at 4-4, and he got broken on that very last game.
And he had a chance to break Djokovic earlier in that set. I really thought he had it, but
really exciting tennis to watch as long as these guys are still involved. I just hope that there are more people coming up behind him. Because we've only got so much time left to watch
maybe
this.
Maybe an American?
Yeah, Isner. Come on, Isner. It's funny that Roger Federer's last Grand Slam title was at Wimbledon 2 years against Andy Murray, so he was not cheered whatsoever for winning that. He's like, oh, you beat Andy Murray. That's so sad.
He's such a crowd favorite, though. He's such an awesome guy, a great sportsman. He doesn't really annoy you at all.
because he has class.
What's that?
I don't think I would be able to be. He's just so composed out there. I would probably be more like Djokovic, like randomly yelling and stuff.
He does. He screams and breaks things. All right, we got to move on. Mark M. writes, this is the best story of the day. Great. ESPN's Chris Broussard shook up NBA free agency on Sunday, tweeting that LeBron James is seriously considering a return to the Cavs. If true, how will this move affect the rest of the league?
Surprise, surprise. Chris Broussard creating the news once again.
Chris Broussard, how is he still working for ESPN?
I have so many sources.
Yeah.
Wait, am I one of your sources?
I go on Twitter. I go down to the jewelry store that we have locally here in Rochester called The Source, and I just say, I'm here at The Source.
Do you ask for more sources?
I'm reporting all of this right at The Source.
Hold on. So are the employees considered sources of The Source?
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh.
All I have to say is that I'm talking to the sources.
Wait, hold on. So if that building has roots in it, are you at the root of The Source?
I think we're stringing this out.
Are we?
Why? It's fantastic.
But we don't know. It's just the constant circle of speculation that persists every year with NBA like no other because there's always so many high-level free agents. I think this is the best fit, though, for him.
I don't know. Are we in a time machine? Seriously? This feels like 4 years ago. It feels like the same crap.
I'm just saying.
Same recycled crap.
I'm just saying I think that this team, with the youth that they have and their ability to grow going forward, awesome. I think it has the brightest future for him.
Okay, good. Go. Sign. Can we get this over with now?
Wait, so he's going to go to another team without a center?
We're supposed to be hearing about Carmelo today.
That's not happening.
Well,
it could.
He won without a center before, so why does it matter?
That is true. He did win. But does he really want to become like a 10 rebound a game guy? Like
does he really want to become the best player in history?
No, but if it's for the best path to win a championship without like killing, because he's killed himself the last.
Well,
4
what
years.
he should probably do is call Carmelo, tell him, "Yo, Melo, what's up? Let's get together." Then we'll pull Bosch over, and then you know what? We'll get Kobe. We'll get him out of his contract.
News has come out that Bosch got a $96 million offer from the Rockets, which is a max. I think he is gone. I don't think there's any way he's not. You get an offer like that, and suddenly you're going to think about taking $15 million a year? I don't think so.
I don't know.
Yeah, I guess that is true, because the whole thing is restructuring your deal to stay in Miami with the big three, but you would become your own big three on a team that actually fits better for you with Bosch, Dwight Howard, and James Harden. That's actually
and
really
Chandler Parsons.
This will probably affect the offer they give to him, though.
But Parsons would be small forward, and Bosch would be power forward, and Howard would be center.
See you later. Actually, you know what? Miami would probably get Terrence Jones in a sign.
I think that's potentially a team that could beat the Heat.
Yeah.
So yeah, but can they beat anybody in the West?
Can they beat anybody on the defensive end? I don't know if that's possible. But either way, I really think that, one, if Bosch ends up going, I think it's over. I think if Bosch leaves, LeBron is leaving.
The question is who signs? Like, are they waiting for LeBron to make a decision, or is Chris Bosh going to just step out of the shadow and actually make a signing?
No. LeBron is waiting for everyone else to make. Then he's going to make another decision.
I think Bosh is the only tipping point in this whole thing. If he goes, then LeBron's going to make a decision. I think if that domino falls. Why would you stay with the Heat at that point?
I don't know. All I know is that if I don't see another ESPN SportsCenter special, I might cry. I might. I mean, I really want to see LeBron make another decision on live TV.
You are just troll.
I hate it. You know what? The NBA, your free agency circus is annoying to me.
Can we have a real discussion?
Thank you, NHL.
I'm constantly refreshing Twitter and waiting for something to come out like every hour. It's ridiculous.
Why? Can we please?
Why? It's all
because I want to know.
It's speculative crap.
No, I want to see the signing.
Something real.
Okay,
something tangible.
I'll read the newspaper the next day.
Can we please have a conversation about poor Dwayne Wade? They got him to opt out of his contract where he was making like what, $18 million? He's not going to get more than like $10 million from another team.
Poor Dwayne Wade?
He's not going to get any money out
Poor
of this.
Dwayne Wade is a multimillionaire with tons of endorsement deals received two amazing all-star players.
You could say that he's not going to get any money out of this. I think if Bosh ends up leaving, LeBron ends up leaving, Dwayne Wade will get a lot of money. He just won't be getting a championship.
I don't know. Why would they re-sign him? He's the oldest.
Maybe they don't re-sign him, but you can't tell me that there isn't somebody in the league that will be desperate enough to pay him a good chunk of money.
Yeah, I mean, he's good for 26 games.
That's the problem. He needs to go to a winner that needs
spark. I'm not saying I would pay him that kind of money, but I'm saying that somebody will see. It's Dwayne Wade.
GM.
Somebody will think about what's been done in the past, and you have to remember that the reason that LeBron got to Miami is largely because of Dwayne Wade. He made a lot of sacrifices, and you're right. If he doesn't end up getting a contract somewhere else after this, if he doesn't end up with the Heat, kind of got screwed.
Yep, he did. All right, we got to move on to the last question because it's time sensitive. Leo C. writes, the World Cup is down to 4 teams, and they are all world class. Which team do you expect to push through and claim the World Cup trophy? I don't know what it's called because I'm not a soccer fan.
Who does the USA play again?
Tanzania.
All right. We got it.
That's qualifying. That's qualifying for the next World Cup.
Neymar is out.
Oh, my God. You see that knee in the back?
Yeah. I thought that was deliberate.
It was,
at least it was a challenge that was a dangerous challenge.
Yeah, A, I thought it was deliberate, and B, I thought he was like legitimately had a broken back. Like the second I saw it, I was like, oh, that is not good.
He caught it square in the back.
Yep.
I mean, maybe it wasn't on purpose. Maybe I should take that back.
That was not
but
a flop,
though. It wasn't.
He has a fractured vertebrae, so it was not a flop.
I've seen people take lesser hits and make the same face and like fall down.
Yeah, initially I giggled.
Yeah, they were in the
bit.
NBA.
Initially, I was giggling. Because I thought it was a fake.
Manu was giving that a standing ovation. He's like, "That's a good. Oh, you're actually hurt."
Come on, it's true.
I would say that it's going to be the Dutch versus Germany.
Yeah.
I would say that's probably the best choice.
Well, Germany basically has a free pass here because they are playing Brazil without their best player and apparently without Silva as well if they hold up the yellow cards. That's
They
the
did
captain
hold
and their
it
best
up.
player.
They did
Plus,
hold it up.
we've heard a lot about how Argentina hasn't been at their best. They've been riding on Lionel Messi. So, and Germany plays a great game all around. I think they had a little bit of a down game last time, but and the Dutch, I love the Dutch.
Brazil still has a lot of capable players, but the way that Germany is playing, I just and without Brazil's ultimate goal scorer, the guy that has been their saving grace for a lot of the tournament, I just don't see it happening.
You said Netherlands has just been great, but man, against Costa Rica, they were not.
Well, they couldn't finish.
They couldn't finish at all.
They couldn't finish. I mean, did you see the one in extra time? It went off the guy's foot and off the crossbar. How unlucky can you get?
Costa Rica had a chance to steal.
They did.
Steal a World Cup game.
I don't know. Robin and Van Persie, and I think that the Dutch could win that one easy.
They could. We'll have plenty of time to talk about when the two finalists are revealed.
Basically,
tomorrow.
we're rooting for Europe.
Coming back, it's time for MLB Tuesday, and you're listening to the Star Fantasy League show on 105.5 The Team.
Play fantasy sports for cash prizes. Join the top daily and weekly fantasy leagues in the country at starfantasyleagues.com. Now, back to the Star Fantasy League show with Donald, Teddy Bear 2, and the Deucey Moose. Only on the Team.
Nice to hear that our voiceover guy took the long weekend off. Probably had a few beers in his cage. Wait, no, he didn't. We didn't leave him any, but he learned all of our names over the weekend.
I think he gets out at night.
How?
I see little things strewn about the office that weren't there when I left. So
that was Nick.
If I was in the cage and I wanted to get out and do something, I would come right back in and act like nothing ever happened. So he is away.
Man, I'm really upset that the people that are listening to the show in Rochester, New York, probably have called the authorities multiple times saying,
They have a man in the cage.
Yeah, I believe the guys on the radio that are talking through my car stereo, they have a man locked up.
And the police, who actually want to hear the man in the cage every day, don't want to do anything about it.
That's true. If you guys really do love the man in the cage, stop calling the police. It's weird. Just stop doing it.
Nick?
Yeah, Nick, you know what?
I don't know where this comes from.
Nick goes to payphones all over the city.
It's because we won't give him $5 free on starfantasyleagues.com by tweeting at SFL Show. That's why you're calling
I don't
the
know
cops.
whose brainchild this was. I don't understand it. It's very weird to me.
Nick's getting very what? The man in the cage? It's
No,
his.
you two.
It's his brainchild. What is wrong with you? All right, Nick's uncomfortable, so that means we have to move on. Great, thanks, Nick. We're talking about MLB. Wow, I almost said NBA again. MLB Tuesday on starfantasyleagues.com. We got a more than full slate because there's a doubleheader. Obviously, the first game won't count. All games start at 7:05. But I believe you have a little something to say about doubleheaders, right, Nick?
Yeah, I hate them.
Yeah.
Don't pick them. For fantasy purposes, doubleheaders are so unpredictable. You just don't want to you want to stay away from them. I mean, you can roll the dice if you want. You never know, but that's just it. You never know. I'd rather lean towards something I do know about.
You'd rather be cautious.
No, I'd just rather utilize the knowledge that I have and know that the playing field is even, if you will.
Like a cautious little moose.
Like a cautious moose?
You're the moose.
I'm the Deucey.
Yeah, that's true. He's the Deucey Moose. All right, as we do every day on the Star Fantasy League show, we're giving you all the stacks, all the pitchers, every kind of breakdown you could possibly want for baseball. But we're going to start with the stacks of the day. Man, I noticed a lot. I see a lot of pitchers that I'm targeting, but I want to know your guys' thoughts. Where are we heading for our first stack of the day? And this is when you put in anywhere from 2 to 4 players from one offense on your team. That's called the stack. 4 is the max.
I think I've talked about these guys a little bit in the past week or so.
Milwaukee Brewers yet again?
Nope.
Oh.
Not even close.
Angels of Anaheim?
Nope.
Oh.
Opposite side of the country.
That doesn't help me.
Tampa Bay Rays.
Okay.
They have
literally the
Yeah, what is going on with them?
They have been great.
They have been toasty.
They have been awesome lately, and they are so ridiculously affordable. You can afford to put in some of the biggest bats on the site. It's great. I mean, they're going up against Jason Vargas. So the one thing I will say is Vargas has actually been pretty good this year. He did pitch a pretty strong game against Tampa Bay earlier, but I'm going to throw that out because the bats have come on lately.
Yeah, this is 2 of the hottest teams in the past month, right? Tampa and Kansas City. Kansas City had that huge win streak. Tampa Bay has just been reeling them off left and right.
Yep. I think you could pick some players from Kansas City, but I like Tampa Bay at home. I think You have to put in Ben Zobrist because I think he's been fantastic lately. But you can also find a couple of value guys, Logan Forsythe and Brandon Geyer, who I've talked about a couple of times. And then if you want to go full-on stack, throw in Evan Longoria, although I will preface that by saying he hasn't been fantastic lately. He hasn't. So he always has the potential to go yard.
I was saying, what do you mean? I picked him as one of my value plays over the weekend when I just had him in. We didn't talk about it on the show, obviously, but he knocked one out of the park.
Good. I mean, that's what I'm kind of where I'm leaning. If the rest of the bats pick up, Longoria's going to see more opportunities. He always has the chance to go long. He's got a big bat. He's under 7,000, so I mean the potential there is fantastic. Very high ceiling.
They are definitely one of the more inexpensive stacks you will find. There's another one that we have to talk about just because of who they're going up against. Man, San Diego, like, come on. I want to stack them, but they make me so uncomfortable looking at who they have. It just everybody.
Why, you want to stack against Franklin Morales?
Of course I want to stack.
Oh, you do?
Okay,
How did that Dodgers stack work out, bud?
Wasn't that like a 2-1 game, too? That
Yep.
was horrible.
Scored 5 fantasy points. Perfect for a 4,500 left-handed pitcher. Ugh. Dodgers got nothing going.
Ugh. Okay, I'm still
Padres are bad, John. Come on, they're bad.
That's the problem. I looked at it. I have a question mark. It says stack for value, but I couldn't really find it.
I literally did the same thing, actually. But you can't. You really can't. You could maybe go with Carlos Quinton. Maybe
Seth Smith's expensive for value.
Yeah.
And there's another game that I feel the same way. You're just seeing these big numbers out there. It makes me sad. Like Houston at Texas against Mick Martinez.
Yeah.
I would love to stack that team, but outside of Springer, who's actually been ridiculously good against righties this season, he's dropped off a little bit since his home run streak. Mm-hmm. And then Altuve is too expensive to even look at.
The Rangers are 24th and the Astros are 25th in weighted on base average over the last 30 days.
I know it makes
horrible.
It makes me so sad.
I know. I got all excited. I was like, Nick Martinez.
I don't know, but that San Diego Colorado game, I still think there's an opportunity there. It wouldn't be a bad idea to do a full game stack on that.
I mean,
against Tyson Ross?
Over under of 11?
Well, Tyson Ross, again, in Colorado, it just makes this game makes no sense to me. Why is that over-under so high when Tyson Ross has been pretty good and Morales has been pretty terrible?
Just because it's in Colorado, I guess.
I think it might be a little bit skewed.
Yeah, it's in Colorado. Colorado can hit almost no matter what. Tyson Ross has been good but isn't absolutely daunting. I think if you take both sides of this game, you'll have a decent chance, especially in double-up contests.
I was upset that Ross has not pitched against Colorado this year, so we don't know how this could go.
Well, the funny thing is, the big thing I notice is Colorado has a lot of lefties in their lineup, a lot of power lefties. Tyson Ross has been pretty good against lefties so far this season. He's admirably pitched against lefties. So if you are going to stack some Rockies, I would try to avoid lefties if you can, but like I said, they're mostly lefties in that lineup.
Yeah.
So avoid if possible. But let's get to some stacks that we actually like. It's got to be Milwaukee again, right? You guys aren't. Why are you not? What, are you happy about Kyle Kendrick on the road?
No, I'm not. And you know what? It could be a good stack, but you do have to note that Milwaukee has kind of tapered off a little bit.
They have.
And they're expensive. And that, this is the same thing that happened with Colorado. They got a couple of their big bats up to that 9,000 range. All of a sudden, it just doesn't look as enticing because you don't have that high ceiling to back it up with. It's like, I kind of want to go somewhere else.
Well, if you do want to go with Milwaukee, I advise for the high-low version of this. Lucroy is an absolute beast. He's pretty much he's my number one catcher pretty much any time Milwaukee's been playing recently.
Other than Devin Mesoraco.
Yeah, that's true. Mesoraco's been hitting some boom-booms
Should have been
as well.
starting.
Yeah, and then Scooter, depending on if they're facing a righty or lefty, it's Scooter or Weeks, and obviously this one's a righty, so we're putting in Scooter Gennett.
What's Scooter at now?
He's only at 64.75 on StarFantasy.com. It's still in the value area, so he's perfectly fine. And then let's get Aramis Ramirez in there, please. Just get him in there.
He's been really hot lately.
Starting third baseman for the All-Star game.
He's been looking fine.
He's doing fairly well, I would say. All right, anywhere else we're touching on for some stacks? We've named, I'd like to say, quite a few.
I have one more.
Okay.
Wei-Yin Chen's pitching for Baltimore.
Yes.
I like picking against him.
Oh, yes, he is.
The Nationals are great against left-handed pitchers. I would only advocate for 3, though. Rendon, Jason Worth, and then Bryce Harper, because his price is low. He's $5,200. The only thing I will say about that is that I think a lot of people are going to be rostering him. So if you're going to be playing in GPP tournaments, probably wouldn't want to put him in. You're going to be matching up with a lot of people there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Head-to-head, I love that.
I assume a lot of people will be playing Harper. He has 5204 on StarFantasy.com. He is a lefty going up against a lefty, but guess what? So far this season in very limited plate appearances,
Like 4
mashing
And I
mashing
feel like
them.
the situation in which you want to do that a lot of times is when when you're looking at two upper tier guys, one that's going to be picked a lot and one that might not be picked as much. When it's so low,
he's a value.
When you're down at that low of value and everybody's going to have him in, I don't think you're doing yourself really any damage.
Okay.
Because you're not going to find somebody, or you're going to have trouble finding somebody who can provide that kind of value that low.
Fair enough.
Yeah, because a lot of the big guys you see on there, everyone's going to be choosing between them. Puig is super inexpensive, by the way. Like, what is going on here? He's facing your boy, Justin Verlander.
Stud.
Puig. I assume you're talking about Puig, not the Verlander.
It's been hard times for Justin Verlander.
Can we come up with a disastrous nickname for him because of how bad he's been?
Disaster
How
Lander?
about
I don't know.
The Virtuosity.
Disaster Lander.
Virtuosity is what I want to call him. He's been atrocious.
The only thing that I might be able to argue is that
Nope.
perhaps he will rise to the occasion.
Stop
This could be
that.
the day.
This is it.
All right, we got to move on to pitchers. I had a lot of them that I'm just like I have question mark. Outside of Julio Teheran, who I think has the best upside. Actually, excuse me, he doesn't have that much upside. Only
No, he's
because
been consistent.
all of his games have been between like 8 and 12 fantasy points. At his price, that's a little crappy, but nobody else on this slate I think can get you that.
No,
many
but he's
fantasy.
been consistent.
I love
Yes.
DeGrom.
Yeah,
I do.
DeGrom's a good one.
He has been pitching really well. I mean, even last start, he got out of the gate. He gave up a double, I think, with the bases loaded in the first inning. Pretty much nothing after that.
He worries me at his price. Like I really liked him at obviously the minimum. Then he got up to like 7,000. Then he got up to 8,500. Now that he's over 10,000,
His stuff,
worried.
but his
He's going up
stuff
against
is
Atlanta.
his stuff is fantastic. He's going up against Atlanta. He had 8 Ks last start. You know that Atlanta can strike out a lot. The one thing that you're worried about here is that he might not be able to get the win. But I think honestly that first inning was literally it for him. He had like 6 hits allowed in that whole game.
I don't think we've seen his ceiling yet either.
No,
you know,
that's true.
I wouldn't put his ceiling at 17,000, but I also
It's probably like
wouldn't
13,
be
14
Yeah, I wouldn't
around
be
there.
surprised if he gets up around there.
If
It's
he
the
continues
hair.
to pitch.
It's the hair.
It's the hair.
Of course it is.
He's got
All right,
flair.
I have to say a giant rest in peace. Those who listen to the show know that I love Masahiro Tanaka and I back him no matter what, whenever he's pitching. But it's finally gotten to a matchup, and he's been kind of off 2 of the last 3 starts. I'm not picking him at all.
Wow.
21,000.
That's all it takes? That's all it takes to get you off of the Tanaka train.
No, he's too expensive.
But he's been right around
He's
there.
always been there.
I know, but I like. Okay, you really like this matchup to go out on a limb to pick against Cleveland. They've
All I'm
actually been
saying
pretty
is-
good against righties.
All I'm saying is that you've liked him against everybody and anybody. Why back off now? Stick to your guns, man.
I don't. I don't like the matchup. I just don't like it.
I don't know if you can call him Tanaka-san anymore.
I can.
No.
I will
No.
guarantee I'll be back on the Tanaka train the next time he pitches.
Yeah, probably.
Guaranteed.
Probably.
All right, who else are we liking?
I got a good one.
Okay.
Philadelphia stinks. Willie Peralta is going to
I
dominate.
really thought you were going to say Kyle Kendrick. I was like, no.
No,
not
Willie
doing that.
Peralta I think is a great one because it's the Phillies are 29th overall in weighted on base average over the last month.
I thought you don't like that stat.
Wait, what? Woba?
Yeah,
I'm
of course you
down
do.
with Woba. I'm not down with the pitching stats.
He's been a little anti-Woba
I don't like.
over the
I don't
course
like
of
the
time.
pitching stats. I
If-
like the hitting stats.
If you're looking for an easy win with 2 teams that are terrible, please go with Phil Hughes against Seattle. Up against my boy Chris Young, who can't keep the ball on the ground to save his life. We are all the way down to 24.1% ground balls. That's
So why is he your boy?
He's the
yeah,
opposite
but
of my boy.
What's his ERA?
Surprisingly, he's all the way down to 3.11.
See, that's my point. That's why I'm not sold on these advanced sabermetrics for pitching because they assume too much. They don't take into account the fact that he's actually pitching okay. Yeah, maybe the ball's going in the air, but it's not going out of the park.
It actually is. His home run rate's actually pretty high, too.
How many home runs has he actually given up?
A lot. He's giving
How
up
many?
like 1 a
give
game.
give me a solid number.
It's like 1 point.
Not an assumed number.
Fine. Whatever. We'll come back to the break. I'll find that number, and I will smash Nick with it. We're also going to give you all our top plays of the day for Tuesday MLB. And you're listening to the Star Fantasy League show on 105.5 The Team.
You're listening to the Star Fantasy League show. Contact the StarFantasyLeagues.com guys via Twitter at SFL Show.
You can tweet us on Twitter. Unless your name is Chris Young of the Seattle Mariners, please don't tweet us. You give up too many home runs.
You can tweet me because that's not true.
14 home runs, 98 innings pitched. That's not good.
That's
You
not
are no
horrible.
Gorgie Jang.
Never
Chris
mind.
Young.
You know what? This is ridiculous.
How
You
did you
think that Chris Young is going to give up, 2 home runs against Minnesota?
Not 2.
Okay, fine.
Not 3.
over
Not
under-
4.
over
Not
under
5.
1. Over under 1.5 home runs.
Should we travel to Minnesota for the All-Star game?
Yeah.
No.
Do it.
Yeah.
No, thank you. I don't wanna go.
Minnesota's awesome. Are you kidding me?
All right, we're moving on. We need to get to our top plays of the day for Tuesday on StarFantasyLeagues.com. We're giving you a top batter, top pitcher, value play, and a stack of the day. Zach, start us off.
All right, I'm going to be going with Albert Pujols.
Wrong. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
That's not nice,
No.
especially to interrupt me.
Yep.
Against R.A. Dickey, don't have a problem with it all. R.A. Dickey, I'm looking for a chump performance this time around. Albert Pujols, really on track
Yeah,
lately.
didn't we say Radies against the knuckleballer?
Yep.
So, yeah.
Pooji.
And then I'm going to be going with Bryce Harper. I don't think you can avoid this. I think everybody should have them in their lineups because if you don't, then you'll get punished. And he's sitting pretty at 5,200.
Will you be doing the punishing?
No.
Okay.
And then, like I said, I'm going to be going with Jacob deGrom.
Jacob deGrom.
The only thing that I'm worried about is that I'm not going to get a win out of this, but I love the matchup. I think he's good for 7Ks plus tomorrow. And if he pitches like he did last game and has been pitching as of late, keeping the pitch count low, and he's got a lot of longevity going for him.
Absolutely.
So I really like it. He's young, blossoming. I love his stuff. I got to watch the whole game last time he played.
The Mets staff should be pretty good once they actually all get healthy, too.
That's what they've been saying for about 10 years.
I know. Matt
looks
Harvey,
great,
we miss
and,
Matt Harvey, we miss you.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I'm going to stack Pitt. Actually,
Pittsburgh?
yeah.
Yeah. Wow,
I mean, Carlos Martinez been pitching pretty decently,
He's a bullpen guy, yeah.
but yeah, I can't count on him that much. I think that the way Pitt's been hitting, what's going on, Andrew McCutchen, I had a tough time shying away from him as my play of the day.
Ooh.
Oh,
If you can hit both of those bad boys in,
Cutch.
baby.
All right, Nick.
All right, well, John is going to rip on me for this one because my play of the day is going to be Giancarlo Stanton going up against Vidal Nuno.
Why am I going to rip on you? He's my play of the day as well.
Oh, well, I'm just saying because I've been talking about Vidal.
Of course, no. I knew you were going to back off that. You backed down pretty
I'm
easily.
not backing off of Vidal Nuno. I'm
Fine.
not.
Oh, you're also picking him as your pitcher of the day, right?
No, I am not.
Okay. Who's your pitcher of the day?
Pitcher of the day is going to be Willie Peralta. I love him against the Phillies because they've been terrible over the past month. He's only $12,000. Great value there. Value play of the day is going to be Logan Forsythe, $3,700 for Tampa Bay. He's been pretty damn good against everybody.
And stack us up.
Tampa Bay.
Beautiful. All right, you took my Giancarlo Stanton pick. I love him. I would pick him as my play of the day 100 times out of 100, but I'll go with Adrian Beltre for something a little different, going up against Brad Peacock.
so you're going to say once Giancarlo does well that you would have picked him.
No, he is. He's listed as my number one.
So it's going to happen.
Just saying it. Whatever. He will be my top.
gonna be in
He's
his
always
second
got to get
lineup.
that in there that's who he wanted.
He's going to be in his second lineup.
Oh, yeah, of course he will. Julio Teheran's my pitcher of the day. He's the second most expensive. We're not going with Tanaka-san. I'm sorry. I apologize.
It looks like we're going head-to-head then.
Are we?
Oh, DeGrom and
No, I'm going to
Teheran.
have Teheran and DeGrom. I actually like DeGrom as my technical value, even though he's a little expensive.
I haven't gone against that. I actually like that strategy sometimes.
And then my value of the day, I love Harper, but I'm going with Scooter Gennett, hitting at the top of that lineup for Milwaukee. I am all over the Milwaukee Brewers of Milwaukee Beer Town.
So
Paper
pretty
it
much
out.
you have everybody who we said and other good players.
Aren't we supposed to? Isn't it a good day on the Star Fantasy League show when we have a consensus?
Yes,
on
when we're
hitters?
agreeing, it's either really good or really bad.
Oh, I disagree.
Lovely. You agree to disagree that I agree to disagree. Thank you so much for that.
Agreed.
Tweet us at SFL Show. Just tweet us the word agree or disagree. You get $5 free in your account at SFL Show.
Well, they
It's
need the
pretty easy.
username too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Agree.
Unless
and
that is your username,
And yet, unless you create the username agree on your site.
and then we'll give you $10.
Wow.
I just announced it.
Wow. You heard it here first, folks. If you create the username agree and tweet us on SFL on StarFantasyLeagues.com, you win. Seriously, I have nothing better to say to end the show. Take it easy, guys.